the When Calls the Heart After Show. With exclusive, never-before-seen interviews shot on location in Hope Valley as they were filming When Calls the Heart. Join the cast and the crew as they give you a first-hand, behind-the-scenes look at what it took to make Season 13 a reality. And now the host of the When Calls the Heart After Show, Elliot Wallach.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Season 13 When Calls the Heart After Show. If you love bonus content, behind the scenes interviews, how do they make the show, you are going to love this program. And don't forget, you can get over 70 hours of bonus content. That's a 36-disc collector's box set. There's after shows like this, bloopers, deleted scenes, episodes that really have never been seen in the When Calls the Heart Elite Edition. You can find that online and right now today at your local Walmart. Now there's so much other great news that came out of 2025 in and out of Hope Valley. Tiffany's on the set with Aaron Krako to talk about just that.
Nice to see you again, Season 13.
Wow.
So anything interesting happen over the summer?
Well, Ben and I got married. That was big.
Yay.
Yes, yay.
So episode 1, we start out outside of Hope Valley, and we see a lot of not new characters, but returning characters this season, including Charlotte, Jack's mom. Mm-hmm. How has it been working with Brooke?
Oh, it's the best working with Brooke. I love working with her. She's such a pro. She's so easy to talk to, easy to work with. She's funny. She's sharp. She brings so much to the character. And I have been for years wanting to bring Charlotte back into the fold. I think that, you know, we have some unique opportunities to include Jack Sr. in our storytelling by featuring Tom, his brother, bringing back Charlotte, and you know, these people who knew him well and have a familial connection to little Jack. It's really important to me that we keep that relationship alive for him. So it's been very special to have her back in Hope Valley.
What was your reaction when you learned they wanted to bring your character back for Season 13?
Well, I was honored, of course, and pleasantly surprised. It had been sort of played around after I first appeared, but it had been so long that I thought, oh, okay, Charlotte's off doing whatever she's doing and she's never coming back. And, then I was like, okay, that's fine. That's what they want. And so when they said all these different things were happening in Season 13 and would I come back, and it worked out, we were able to work the schedule out. And it felt perfect timing.
Yeah. And so what did you think when you actually got back on set here, and you hadn't been here for what, almost 10 years?
Yeah. Well, when I was here for the first time, it was freezing. So my first reaction was, oh, thank gosh, it's not freezing. The crazy thing about it is you walk through the town, or you come into this room, or you're opposite the Elizabeth character, you're opposite Darren, and it felt like yesterday.
Really?
That doesn't happen often, but I think because this entire show, and even though the cast changes at times, there's this continuity to it, and I think it's what audiences are so obsessed with in the best way, and really cue into and key into. And, it's not broken, don't fix it. And in that way. And so there's this consistency and through line, and the heart is still there, no pun intended, believe me, but all of the things that would keep you tethered to a character or a place or other characters hasn't really changed. There's something very comforting about that.
And off screen too, the crew. A lot of the crew has been here since Season 1.
And I recognized a lot of them, and that was really nice and familiar. So I think the familiarity is just a positive, and it is like a family, and it is, it's funny to not know all the inside jokes, but then actually have a couple of your own so quickly, and you think, oh, okay. But there's this cohesiveness to the cast and the crew, and then the cast with the crew, which to me is everything.
So walk me through episode 1. What has Charlotte been up to for 10 years?
Oh, well, I mean, she basically rode off on horseback and had a big duster, and it was 10 years ago. And I mean, I think that she's been running a boarding house. I mean, she has been running a boarding house, and I think, news of her son, and I think just took a real toll on her. And I think she just threw herself into her work, the boarding house, all of the things, she being independent, not needing anybody, and just not tapping into any of her emotional life, And then, her grandson is born, and that's the whole kind of what really brings everybody back together. And I think she's just been going about her life trying to not think about losing her son.
This season, we brought back Charlotte, played by the beautiful Brooke
Shields. Yes, that's where they've been all summer.
And you got to sort of pretend like you were a family. I mean, you were living in the same
all
place.
under the same, roof, not in the same, the rooms, but under the same roof. It's kind of like camp, I think was the best way, so Allie and Nathan in one, and little Jack and Elizabeth on the other. But yeah, they'd have their meals together, and they'd, talk to the rest of the people that were staying there, and yeah.
Was there ever a scenario where you stayed in Cape Fullerton for longer? Because we resolve it in episode 1. You guys end up coming back.
Yeah, well, I mean, we come back pretty early. I mean, it's a time jump, which you can tell by Nathan's mustache.
Oh, my gosh.
I think this is how we show that time has gone on. Yeah.
I cannot believe I forgot.
So I pushed for the mustache, season 9 or whatever that was. Somehow it got past the producers, and then they were like, why does Kevin have a mustache after, episode 2 or 3? And then there had to be a reason to shave it off, and then we shaved it off, and when May didn't like it or something like that. And then they're like, oh, we love this idea. Let's get Kevin to bring his mustache back. And I'm like, guys, I thought of this genius idea, and you want to, anyways. So we brought it back to show time has moved on. I think Allie also has a different haircut as well, to show time has moved on. I think Elizabeth has a different haircut, to show time has moved on. Yeah, and now we're coming back to Hope Valley after being in Cape Fullerton for the summer.
Serious question. Mustache or no mustache? Which do you prefer?
Mustache, all the time. I think he's very dignified with a mustache.
Yeah.
I think I'm the minority from what I've read online, but I like a good mustache. And they're in now, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, they're in. And I was ahead of my time.
Yeah.
When I was saying this is going to be a thing.
Well, bullets are also in.
I pushed for it today, or not for today, but I pushed for it this season as well. I was like,
your mullet?
Yeah, well, I was like, it's getting pretty long back here. I was like, we can take this a bit shorter. That didn't go over well.
I don't think that's period.
Nathan is a man of the future. He is, he makes things cool.
How did you feel about that setup where you guys got to live sort of like a family?
I loved it. I was like, this is so cool that we get to see like a new dynamic-ish, how we're all like in one sort of household together, And also we got some new outfits this year because the Cape Fullerton style is a little more 20s.
Okay.
So Elizabeth especially has some more drop waist stuff. It's very exciting.
So what did Barbara do for you?
Barbara, well, I have new dresses.
Okay.
I've got new dresses. I've got a new pantsuit you'll see. And we've got new dresses coming this season, too.
Also, you have a new, not new, but, well, actually, let me think. It would be new to you, Brooke, playing Charlotte, right? Because you weren't on the show yet, because she was here in season 3 and you didn't come till season 6.
This is true.
Yeah, how has it been working with Brooke?
Oh, she's super sweet.
Yeah.
She's so nice. And she does this needle pointing in between takes. And I just think like she's very self-aware that she likes to have like something to do. And I tried crocheting and oh man, it's hard. So like it's sort of in the same ballpark. So I like her a lot. She's very sweet.
What's your hobby in between takes?
What's my hobby? Chatting.
Oh.
That's what I like to do.
Yeah. See, I'm surprised. So you were in Cape Fullerton. Where did they shoot that? Were you actually here on set somewhere?
We were, yes.
Okay.
We just, our set deck redecorated the judge's office.
It's always a challenge to be in the judges and have to make it not look like the judges. And so I wanted to go a little bit bigger. It's also a very important set. This is Charlotte's home and we wanted to really show her world. And so I chose some bold wallpaper and some bold colors. We hid the fireplace that's actually in there, and then we built a fake one on the other wall and just so that it changed the orientation of that room. And We changed the shape of the windows. So we actually facaded kind of those 2 existing ones and made them curved and just made it just really pretty, really homey. It's a boarding house, and so it wants to be inviting and welcoming and warm. And I mean, it's one of the first things we shot, and the atmosphere is always so much fun when everyone gets on set. And then having Brooke here was just such a pleasure. And I was really excited for her to walk in, and I was really proud of that set. And we got to keep it up for a while and really use it.
And then how did you settle on the color palette?
I found wallpaper first. So I'm obsessed with wallpaper, and we very rarely get to use wallpaper out here because just the moisture in the air, like we can't really keep it for sets that are going to be forever because it's gonna melt away. And so when I get these opportunities to use wallpaper, I'm like, yes, because I know it's gonna be up, but then it's gonna come down. And so we can use it. So I chose the wallpaper first, and kind of from there, kind of picked the colors that would accent it really well. And don't think I've really used purple. Allie's birthday, yes, but as far as paint, so I was like, oh, I have to use purple now. So that was the accent wall in the hallway, and that was really just me just realizing that I get to choose colors and have fun with it and be like, what color do I want? So it kind of comes organically from what I'm feeling that day, but also working with the material that I find that I really love, and then having it grow from there, and then working with my set decorator and being like, okay, like this is kind of the style I'm looking for. Let me know what colors you're finding in that, because I can't just send around and be like, find me this exact sofa in a color green, and we don't have that luxury for a piece that is a period piece. It's really kind of a give and take, but it started with the wallpaper for this set.
So I noticed the other day when I was here, I looked down the street and the mayor's office was basically a row of pine trees.
So that was to service Cape Fullerton,
okay,
the boarding house. So we turn a lot of our sets into other sets because we have a limited footprint here. Our designer, Sarah Maberly, and the teams, Anna Kim and Set Deck, and everybody did an amazing job with the boarding house. The boarding house in Cape Fullerton, we've transformed the judge's office so many times. It has been so many different sets over the history of this show. This one was really special. They really reconfigured the room. The end of the room, which is all windows and would look onto Hope Valley. And anytime you bought windows, you'd be like, hey, wait a minute, they're not in Cape Fullerton. So they added faux stained glass on the door, and they added a pattern on the windows, and then we put the tree out front to just obscure anything that might be felt on the other side of that. And when you're in the judge's office right now dressed as Cape Fullerton, you'd never know you were in Hope Valley.
How many trees did you have there?
We had about 15.
Those trees were quite big.
Or 14 to 16 feet. Most of them I don't use them that big because obviously they're too big. But sometimes you need them big because they need to block out a certain area to hide the town because they're inside of a building and it's a different set and they're looking out and they're seeing the street. Well, we can't see the street.
Right.
And maybe it's more cost effective than them building a faux wall or whatever of a different area. So
for those of us who don't understand what goes into all that it takes to put a show together, what does the head greensman, what do you do?
Procure all the greens materials, flowers, trees, mow the lawn, put trees outside, make sure the trees are outside the window. I have an on-set greensman that takes care of that. I just basically supply him with everything he needs. I work under the production designer.
Where do those trees come from? Like, how do you source those trees?
There's different areas, like under the power lines. BC Hydro has to cut the trees under the power lines, but they can't go too high, so that's one source. And a lot of old tree farmers that can't sell these trees because they get too big, I get them from them. Probably the hardest part of the job is cutting the trees down and loading them up. Sometimes they're hard to get to. So
14-footers, how do you transport?
We got a trailer.
Okay.
And Chris, once you cut them down, they're two people.
Yeah.
But we have a trailer. We bring them in and put them on stands. So
I was just going to say, how do they stand up? I get a 14-foot row of how many 15 trees? How are they standing?
Well, there's two ways of doing it. There's a piece of plywood. You can two by two plywood with L brackets, or I bought a bunch of Christmas tree stands that can hold the 16-foot ones. So those ones you just drill the bottom and bang them in there.
Okay.
The other system is you got to put 4 brackets on it and use a bunch of screws. So, and sometimes you use a piece of rebar, but you can't move it that way. So it's all about moving it most of the time.
Right. True, because you have to roll them in and probably get them out of the way fairly quickly.
Yeah, for the crude access or whatever like that. So
are they on wheels?
No, just on the stands.
Okay.
So
okay, and then you just load them up and
The beautiful thing about them, the older they get, the drier they are, the easier to pick up. So, yeah.
We have a number of sets here that we've used over the years as swing sets. So, for example, the soda shop, the soda fountain, the ice cream parlor was a fancy restaurant where Jack and Elizabeth got in a bit of an argument years ago. Or Gowan's office is the daycare center. It's also Mike and May's apartment. The judge's office served as part of Elizabeth's home when they were going back to Hamilton. So some really interesting swing sets we've used over the years.
Sarah's talked a lot about those. I mean, the schoolhouse gets used a lot. This gets used a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. The train was in here.
The train was in here.
Yeah.
Hotel rooms. It's very multi-purpose. We do what we can.
So you return after you're away in Cape Fullerton, and now you're back in Hope Valley, and apparently you and Oliver have been writing these letters.
Yes.
When you get to town, though, it's a little bit awkward. Is it difficult to play awkward when maybe you don't feel awkward with Jacob in real life?
Not really. Not really as much, because I feel like young teen love is just awkward in general. So no matter if it's scripted to be awkward or if it's scripted to be a little less awkward, there's still always like an underlying awkwardness to it. So we're just used to that at this point.
What was your opinion on the mustache?
Personally, I'm not a mustache girly, but you know what? He rocked it for those few episodes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Kevin's?
Kevin's is growing on me. Let's just say that.
That's how I feel about it, because the first time when he did the mustache, it's a little bit like, oh, okay, I'm not sure what I think.
Exactly.
But I think as you get used to it, it's like, okay.
Yeah, but I told him so originally when he had it. I was like, oh, I'm not used to this. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. But this season, I let him know. I was like, you know what? I actually like it. It's growing on me.
I got to go back to the mustache.
I'll go back to the mustache.
Oliver.
Also has a would we call that a mustache?
I don't know.
It's got a wispy little I don't know. It looks like some strands of hay or something is on his face. I think it works pretty well for the joke.
Yeah.
Yes, Oliver attempts to grow a mustache.
Okay.
In episode 1. It's a heavy mustache episode 1.
Yeah, so I was going to say who wore it better, but I think I know who you
Clearly Nathan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a mustache. I don't know what Oliver had going on there. And they actually told Jacob and I kind of last minute. And we were like, I guess we got to see who can grow the bigger mustache in like 2 weeks.
And he's a young guy.
He's a young guy.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to win.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, Oliver has something that resembles a mustache for the first episode.
We can say I started it first, but I think we can all agree his is a little more full.
Yeah.
I'm not at that point yet.
Well, he did say that you guys didn't get much notice.
No, not really.
Yeah, and you're a younger guy. It takes a little bit more time, I think. I have sons close to your age, and I know how it is.
We'll get there eventually, We'll revisit this in 10, 20 years.
So other things that were new this season, one was the stoplight.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, like logistically getting that here and shooting all of that.
Well, anytime there's a new invention or innovation in Hope Valley, it's a big deal for the entire community. The stoplight is huge. I think that we explored the idea of a traffic jam at Main Street several seasons ago. The town is just growing. There's more people. So I think the traffic light was helpful with that.
For the audience, it's like, yay, there's a traffic light. For you, making this sort of thing happen, does that raise, like you said, red flags, or like, okay, how are we going to make this happen? How does this affect the budget?
Traffic light was a tricky one for us because at the time we have 3 workable Model Ts. So it's difficult for us to service a traffic light introduction, which is why we made the choice to put it down at the end of the street by the judges. So that it wasn't tied into this significant amount of Main Street action that we have, and being an added interference or an added element that in all of these, we had some scenes on Main Street that had like 14 to 20 casts in them. They were scenes within scenes. There's a lot of complex movement to camera in those. And the last thing we want to be is tying everything to cars stopping and going, cars which are traditionally unreliable. And our vehicles are 110 years old, so more traditionally unreliable. Servicing all of that movement with the traffic light in conjunction with all of these other logistics to service the scene. So we frankly cheated a bit, and we put it at the end of town so that it wasn't right in our back pocket and hindering us.
I drew up what I had hoped it would look based on research of the time, and set deck, construction, special effects, and then lighting and grips. We all had our hands, and paint, all had our hands on this. We bought just a normal like garden light, like a lamp post. And then we had special effects custom build the box on top and the little detail on the front. We bought colored glass, and our member of our construction team, he randomly is a glass cutter, and so he was able to cut all of that, and it completely is a functional. It's rigged, and our lighting up. He controls it.
It's a three-way traffic light, which means that we had to have 3 lights on each floor. So 3 reds, 3 yellows, and 3 greens. And we had to have an access panel at the back so we can put the lights and move the lights. It had to look like it belongs. And then we had to drill all the way through the bottom to get all the wires to the bottom. And the bottom we created a box on a magnet so we can open and have all the battery controls at the bottom. It was fun.
I love the storyline because it like brought Christopher back, and I thought that was a really smart way of bringing him in.
When I read it, for some reason, I just thought that they had somehow strung up some sort of tension cable, and they had it up just so that it's not in the way of anything. And then it's perfectly in the way of everything. It's just plopped down in the middle of the intersection, and it's always on. It's always blinking. So, if we're shooting wherever out at night somewhere, and in the distance, what is that? Oh yeah, that's the new traffic light. It's just monotonous with its blinks. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, they put it down, and I have to roll in and make a left-hand turn. And just the way it was situated, it was not in my favor. It was a sharp turn to make, and those old Model T Fords have no power steering.
Yeah.
And they grip in weird ways. I trying to focus on Edie and wave hi to her and not hit anything and not hit the traffic light and turn left. And then all of a sudden I don't know, it was strange. It was like it decided to accelerate, even though I was not changing anything, but just maybe if anyone knows why the old Model T Fords, leave in the comments, please. I don't know, but
it lurched forward.
Yeah, it did a massive lurch, and then I had to overcorrect. And I don't think anybody saw that because I was out of frame at that point. So everybody at Village was like, "Oh, that was great."
No, I thought you were going to say you were going to take out the light. I was like,
well, I almost did that too. I did get notes that I almost clipped the light because they could see that part.
So Nathan gives you a ticket, but have you gotten a ticket in real life?
I have. Yeah, I have gotten 1 speeding ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was in my early 20s, and I was going camping and with some friends, and I'm a little sore about it still, apparently, because it was an area where this is one particular part on the Sea to Sky Highway where they drop from something like 80 kilometers an hour to all of a sudden it's 60, or maybe it's even 50. I don't know, but there's a passing lane in that section. So I was trying to pass somebody, and so I had sped up a little bit to pass somebody. And at the same time, it had switched from 80 down to 50 or 60. And so between the two, I was speeding. And there's a police kind of trap spot right around that corner because they know that it drops down immediately and it doesn't give much warning. And then they sit there and just radar you. So I got pulled over there. And now I am very conscious of that corner every time I'm going. And oftentimes there's somebody waiting there.
Over.
Yeah. And I say, not today. Not today.
It's a good moneymaker. At the end of the month, they're like, okay, we got to make our quota.
Yes.
It's a little in the way, which I think we're finding out right now with the cameras. I don't know how long it's going to be there.
Oh, really?
And after we have, I think when we came back, Nathan got to kind of put on the surge and march into town with Bill and Oliver dressed in the garb and kind of anoint the traffic light. And then I think we let Rosemary go through in the car and everyone was happy. And there hasn't been a car that's gone by since.
Oh, really?
There hasn't been a car that's gone by since. To the point where we were shooting episode 2, a lot of horse riding in episode 2. And we're I'm riding in and out of town. They want me to give her on the way out. And then the traffic light turns red as I'm going, but nobody's around. I'm like, do I stop? Do I stop this horse? I don't know how far they can see.
This is what you were thinking while you were
because I also give Lucas a ticket for, going through a red light. So now I'm going, and it's in the background. You can't really see, but I'm like, am I supposed to stop for this stupid light, I went right through it.
Yeah. I think that was the right call.
I think
I
it's
don't
the right
think
call,
horses.
too. No,
yeah.
they'd be like, "What is Kevin doing down?"
It's like a pedestrian.
You think so?
I don't think you have to.
You don't. Pedestrians supposed to stop at red lights?
Well,
This is changing the game for me. I might never see you again.
I don't know.
They said it'd be fine.
She told me I could do
Yeah,
it.
she said it's for cars only.
That's right.
I have the right of way.
So Christopher shows up back in Hope Valley to set up the traffic light. Tell me about that scene and setting up the traffic light and those interactions with the townsfolk.
Well, actually, the traffic light's pretty funny because it kind of just changes by itself, which I don't know if other cast members have talked about that yet, but it kind of just blinks back and forth. Like we could walk out right now and we could probably look down there and it would just be changing. So that's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know how they actually made that work for the scene, because obviously for the scene, it's off. I think they probably had someone off camera, like plug it in or something.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I loved that moment I got to have with little Jack. Super cute.
So how did you feel? What was your reaction when you learned they wanted you to come back?
I got the phone call from my agent, and that was extremely exciting because I always felt like my character had more business in Hope Valley, and been waiting.
It's been 5 years, I think.
Yes,
Am I right?
5 years, yeah. I actually auditioned for this show several times before for smaller parts. And then COVID was just starting, and then I got this audition. And it was just a couple scenes from that first episode that I was in season 8. And I did them. And no callback, nothing, just immediately booked the part.
Oh, really?
I was like shocked.
So they didn't do a chemistry read with you and your counterpart?
I even asked, I was like, wait, I just got the part? Cool.
And
neat.
And then how long was it before you were on set? Was it almost immediate?
It was really quick. It was like a month.
Okay.
It was like I got the part and then we started filming. And yeah, it was fantastic.
So you said you auditioned for some smaller roles. What were the other roles that you had auditioned for?
It was like a little Mountie role or something, and I think it was a bandit or something, like in the mountains or something. I can't really remember. Barely any dialogue too, but I was meant for bigger things.
Yeah, and I mean this role is great because obviously lots of dialogue and a continued storyline.
Yeah, this is a great part. Henry's son. Yeah.
Yes.
Really juicy. I'm lucky.
Tell me about working with Martin.
I think I'm really lucky to work with Martin. He's really funny, and I love working with him. Martin also works in a really similar way to me, so I think that's why we work well off each other. He likes to experiment and try stuff, and he likes to play with the lines a little bit, and I like to do that too.
When you get the script, how do you learn your lines? Like, what is your process?
I've already got this character created. Like I've done the work with the character. You make a backstory and you figure out the given circumstances of the character. Given circumstances, that's like everything about the character that you can glean from the script or from your imagination. So I've already defined all those things, and then just read the script over and over again, lock the lines in so that on the day it can be forgotten. And then me and Martin run them and play around.
And when you say forgotten, so that you can react to what the other actor is giving you?
Yeah, so when you're acting, at least for me, you want to be as relaxed as possible. The trick to acting is to be just super relaxed. And if you're very relaxed, then you can be present and here and connected to yourself. And so if I'm in the back of my head thinking about my lines, what is it? Oh, I just forgot it. But I'm not really here with you.
Yeah.
So actors, lots of actors will say that they want to be able to learn their lines so that they can forget them.
So you said you created a backstory for him. What's the story that you created? Can you share that?
That's kind of like, I don't know. That's kind of personal. I did make a 5-year story though for what happened to Christopher from season 8 to now.
Okay.
I spent a long time trying to figure that out, trying to understand exactly what he's gone through, why isn't he married yet? This is like the 20s, right? So like that's after 5 years of dating someone, you'd be married.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out why. What is it in him, or what is it in the story? I talked to Joy, our showrunner, and figured all these things out so that when I show up on set, ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my prep, basically. When I found out I'm coming back, that was immediately what I started doing. Where's Christopher been for 5 years? What's he been doing? What is this new job that he has?
Yeah. Tell me about that new job that he has.
Pioneer Electric. Christopher's been working his way up in this company since the end of season 8. He wants to feel like somebody before he proposes to Rachel, and I think there's a stigma with her family as well. So I think he has this job, and he's working his way up this job, and he's got this thing in his head that, well, once I get there, then I'll feel like enough. Mm-hmm. That's sort of what I've mapped out for his past 5 years, too.
Yeah, because he has a little bit of a sketchy past.
Yeah.
If I remember right, he stole a watch or something, and maybe even a car.
Yeah.
He's grown in 5 years when he shows up, and I think Henry
matured.
And I think Henry's really proud of him.
Yeah.
You know, and how would you describe their relationship?
I think we're still making up for lost time. There's more of a sense of maturity to the relationship. Christopher's matured a lot over 5 years, become more of a man, but we're still making up for lost time, I think.
Oh, I love James, yeah. I wanted him to be back from the very first time, the first season that we had him. And I'm just delighted that Joy has brought him back this year.
Yeah. When did you find out that he was going to be returning for this season?
Well, we talked about it when at the end of last year, and she just talked about some things that I would like to see or whatever. And and at that point, they'd come in and she was looking around. I don't think that at that point she had also seen everything yet. And so I said, well, you should really check this kid out because he's fantastic, and I would love to have another opportunity to work with the kid again. And so she went and had a look at him. She was, wow, he is really terrific. And she did some pretty interesting stuff this season with him to involve him in the story, which I'm delighted by.
Okay, back at season 13.
Back at season 13.
And last time I saw you, you're missing something.
I'm bumpless. I'm very happy about it.
Because you were towards the end.
I was pushing my limits. Yeah, last season, I think by the last day, I had 4 safety pins helping me close up all of my costumes because we would go in and tailor everything, and I'd show up the next week, and when you're in your last month of pregnancy, things change quickly.
Yeah. You have 3 children.
I do.
Did the pregnancies get easier? They change?
All different. I think when it comes to working pregnant, I became more of a veteran with, every time you work pregnant, you learn a new trick. I've got a bag full of tricks at this point, and I'm always happy to give pointers to any actor out there who's pregnant, any actress who needs some pointers. But yeah, not pregnant anymore. No need to hide the bump with a massive doctor bag, a curtain, a chair, a child, like whatever,
right.
Boxes.
We pick up this child.
I mean, I will say one of the good techniques is to hold something heavy and have a conversation while carrying something, but you're also pregnant and carrying something heavy, and
right.
It's not fun.
And I think this outfit has been a pregnancy outfit, I feel like, at one time.
I think I have 2 of every single outfit. I have a maternity one. Sometimes I have 3 because I've had stunt doubles or body doubles in the past.
Yeah.
So when you look at the Faith wardrobe, you're like, why does she have so little taste and variety when it comes to her wardrobe? But no, I do have a maternity set for most costumes, regular and double.
Do you have the same double all the time?
Yes, actually, I've had the same. Well, it depends because I've had stunt doubles, I've had body doubles, I've had, I guess, a few random ones here and there, but mostly stuck with the same one throughout all 3 of my pregnancies while in Hope Valley, which was amazing because you really got to know my techniques, the way I move, and there's a whole art form to being a double for somebody, and it's very appreciated when you're pregnant and you just want to see your waistline from afar.
Right.
So
yeah, so some of those shots, they're not you.
True.
Same hair.
True. And some sneaky Hearties have been online and they've been able to distinguish at times. And I've been tricked because I've watched scenes and been like, oh, right, that's not me.
I don't remember that.
But the hair is identical, the costume is identical. And yeah, anything from like here back, you can cheat.
So some new changes this season on set. The infirmary is now become an insulin clinic.
Tier 1 insulin clinic.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Becoming a Tier 1 insulin clinic is it's a great storyline. It's a great through line that carries over from last year, obviously. And it's a huge moment to celebrate for Faith and for May and for the town and, of course, for little Jack and Elizabeth. It means that he will be able to sustain himself in town. He's not going to have to leave for his medication. It will stay frozen at the right temperature. And it's also just a huge badge of honor for Hope Valley to be able to be a part of something so important and integral to the time. Because we are a frontier town, after all. It's not exactly your first destination when you think all things medical.
I love that they bring in new technology. Yeah. And I don't know, I haven't seen, I've just read it. So as far as the freezer and all of that, is there something special about it that's period?
Yes.
Okay.
It is time period. And the medication, if you recall back to season 12, the issue with the insulin is that it was transported and it wasn't the right temperature. It was dangerous. It was not able to be utilized. So this is a special freezer. It keeps everything at the correct temperature, but also if there's a power outage, the freezer has a generator, so it's able to protect the medication at all times. But it worked out, and it's a reason to celebrate.
So speaking of the future, the airplane.
Right.
What was that like?
When we landed an airplane in the field?
Yeah.
Dangerous. We took out a few grips that day. But it was worth it.
It's a tough job.
No, we did it. I think it's green screen. But it was I think it's a great idea and a nice arc to the end of the episode that, if you remember, Nathan heard at the beginning of the episode that Skeet's cousin, flew in an albatross, I believe was the name of the plane. Anyways, he remembers that, and that's the way to get the inspector there last minute and help and save the day.
The first episode, I felt like the entire cast was here. And I don't think that happens all the time. Does that change the dynamic on set? Is it fun?
It's a party. Anytime the whole cast is present, it's a great opportunity to catch up with each other. And especially the first couple episodes on the heels of a long hiatus, we were able to find out what everyone did over the break. And it's just a really nice reunion. And I think a great opportunity to see what makes When Calls the Heart so special, and that is the sense of community and how loving and supportive everyone is. Hey, we're shooting down here.
What's that?
Okay, back for real.
No, you're scared.
Okay.
You scared him.
You're all right.
It's okay.
Okay. Don't cut that. This is life. This is life on set. Okay, next.
And that concludes this after show. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, don't forget you can get so much more bonus content on the When Calls the Heart Elite Edition. You can find that online and at your local Walmart. And we'll see you guys next time right here for the When Calls the Heart after show.